What's going on, guys? Tyler here, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 7 of Addicks Editions. The transfer window may have shut ages ago, but that has not stopped Bowyer from bringing in 3 new players to his side after the transfer window has, of course, slammed shut. Of course, a couple of weeks ago, we confirmed the signings of Erhun, Oztumer and Tomer Hemed, whilst I was away on a camping trip, hence why you didn't see an Addicks Editions episode of those two, so I do apologise for that. But Bowyer has added to the ranks with a 3rd addition outside the transfer window. We were desperately in need of a right back following the sale of Anthony Jicksteel to Middlesbrough, and Bowyer has finally got his man. We have confirmed the signing of Adam Matthews, the 27-year-old former Celtic and Sunderland right back, joins the club on a 1-year deal, and I am very happy to see him here. Of course, Bowyer said that he wanted 2 players per position at the start of the season, and now he has got that with Adam Matthews. I'm happy to see him here, and I think we could have a good player on our hands here. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I wrote up an article on Vital Charlton, which, if you didn't know, I've teamed up with them now as a writer for their page. I'll leave a link to Vital Charlton in the description. You can check out some of the other stuff I've written on there, as well as other people that are there, and I'll also leave a link in the description to the article that I'm going to be referring to today, which of course I wrote. Basically, in that article, I writ about Adam Matthews, as well as the other player that was training with the club, who's also a right back, and that of course was 36-year-old former West Brom right back Tyrone Mears. Now, both of them were training with the team, and I writ an article basically comparing the two, the statistics in their careers, and coming to a conclusion as to which player I felt was the best man to fill Jicksteel's position. And in the end, I came to the conclusion that I felt it was likely to be Tyrone, because he's more experienced, 36 years of age, played for 11 clubs over the course of his career, and even knew Lee Bowyer during his time at West Ham. But I wanted it to be Matthews because he's younger, he's got experience of playing at the highest levels in the world, and I just think he'd be the best asset for us. And lo and behold, Matthews has become the player that we've signed. Now, Adam began his career at Cardiff City, but here's an interesting fact for you, actually. He nearly began his career at Cardiff's arch-rival Swansea when he was quite young, but suffered a broken arm during the trial. And basically, Swansea's academy told him, when you get back to full fitness, make sure to come back. And when he recovered from the injury, it turns out that Swansea's academy had actually become full. So he unfortunately missed out on the chance to play for Swansea, but he ended up joining Cardiff, began his career there, and then in the 2011-12 season, I believe, just before that season, he made the switch to the SPL and signed for Celtic, and this was by far his most impressive period. He signed a 4-year deal, and in the 4 seasons he was there, he won 6 pieces of silverware. He won all 4 Scottish premierships that season, in the years he was there, between 2011-12 and 2014-15. He won the Scottish Cup in 2011-12 or 2012-13, I'm not too sure what season it was, and he won the Scottish League Cup in 2014-15, and he also played in the Europa League and the Champions League as well, so he had a really good stint there at Celtic. However, Matthews took a little bit of a decline in his career, it is sad to say, when at the beginning of 2015-16 he made a permanent switch to Sunderland, who were then in the Premier League, of course. Now, during that season he suffered quite a few injuries, he missed out on some game time, and that led to him being loaned out at the end of the season to Bristol City. He made his debut at the final day of the season, I believe, when they won 6-0 against Bolton, who were already relegated at the time. He went back to Sunderland, but then got sent back out on loan to Bristol City for the 2016-17, and of course that was the season Sunderland got relegated to the Championship, and then he's been with Sunderland for the past 2 seasons, and he's just really been part of a pretty poor Sunderland side, it has to be said. 2017-18, of course, suffered relegation from the Championship to League One, and of course last season he was under a lot of criticism from Sunderland fans. A lot of people didn't really like him, and of course they failed to get promoted back to the Championship at the first time of asking, and suffered 2 defeats at Wembley that season. They lost in the Checkatrade Trophy final, and of course more memorably the loss in the League One playoff final to Charlton Athletic. Jack Ross did not offer Matthews a contract at the end of the season, so he became a free agent. Bowyer didn't want to spend any more money after we signed 14 other players. He then dabbled in the free agent market, found Tyrone, found Adam, found another player, and went with Adam after impressing in training. To my thoughts of the signing. Now, of course, Adam obviously was training with the team as well as 2 other right backs, and Bowyer decided to pick him, and I have to say I did prefer him over the bunch. He is still only 27, so he has quite a few years left in him, but he of course will be looking to revive his career, because a lot of Sunderland fans weren't particularly keen on him. They said he was quite poor at the end of the day, but I think that under a manager like Bowyer, who can bring the best out of his players, I think we could be seeing a decent Adam Matthews here. Of course, he'll have to fight for his spot in the team. Of course, he can't just expect to walk straight into the first team ahead of Chris Solly, who, of course, has just come back from injury and, of course, is returning to full fitness. It's actually quite an interesting one, though, because we do have quite a few players that have done quite well in the right-back position. Of course, Deji Oshilaja, for me, being the standout player at right-back so far. He was absolutely superb when he's had to play in that position following Chris Solly's concussion against Barnsley. Unfortunately, Deji picked up I believe it was a hamstring injury. He limped off with a hamstring injury against Brentford. He apparently was said to be okay to be starting against Reading, but it turned out that he wasn't quite ready yet. I think he's still got a hamstring problem now. And of course, even George Lapsley. Lapsley came on for 30 minutes, I think it was, against Brentford, and he played really well in the right-back position. So it's quite interesting. We have a lot of players that can occupy right-back. But with Matthews here now, it allows Oshilaja to play at centre-back, Lapsley to come back to his natural position in the centre midfield position, of course. But yeah, I have to say, I'm quite interested with Matthews being here. Again, he's going to have to fight against Chris Solly, but of course, he's played... Of course, at his time at Celtic, he was playing at the top of his game at Celtic. Of course, 6 pieces of silverware and playing in the Europa League and the Champions League. Of course, that's long gone now. He's had a little bit of decline since being at Sunderland, and of course he'll be looking to revive that under Charlton. And I think he can do it. Under Bowyer, he'll bring the best out of him. I don't know if he's going to stay after the 1 year that he's with us, of course, signing a 1-year deal. Of course, that's up to Bowyer, whether he thinks he's good enough to carry on the Championship. But Adam will be looking to have another crack at the Championship. So that is it for this episode of Addicks Editions. If you enjoyed, can you possibly leave a like? Can we try and smash 60 likes on this video? That would be much appreciated for the return of Addicks Editions. Unfortunately, this will be the last episode until the January transfer window, but I doubt there will be an episode coming up, because after signing 15 players over the course of the transfer window, I think the only way we'll be signing players is if we lose people during the January window. I don't really see us signing anyone else for no apparent reason. But yeah, can we try and smash 60 likes in the video? That'd be much appreciated. And subscribe when you're new around here, and turn on those post notifications so you're notified of when I post. I'm trying to get to 1,500 subscribers by the Birmingham game. If we could get to that, that'd be much appreciated. Yeah. Welcome, Adam Matthews. What do you guys think about the signing? Let me know in the comments below. And also, Sunderland fans, if you're watching this video, or even Celtic fans, if you're watching this video, feel free to let me know how Adam got on at your team and if you reckon he'll do well at Charlton. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy. This has been Tyler Rollinson. Have a nice day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, guys.